Saturday morning, Stitchy friends. This is Jenny, and I'm grateful that you could join me in my little home. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I really enjoy Saturdays because I normally get up early and I get dressed, and if I'm going to make a video, I make the video. And then after, my daughter and myself go spend the day together. We might go out to lunch and then go to our secondhand shops or stuff like that. So I really enjoy Saturdays because I work all week, and at night I stitch. That's the only time. So that's why I don't really have a lot of things to show a lot of the times in the stitching part of it. I try and stitch as much as I can. Sometimes I stay up until like midnight and 1 o'clock in the morning just because it's my quiet time. But so normally that's what I do during the week, and then on Saturday I spend it with my daughter, and then Sunday I go to church. So I really enjoy my weekends. But it's been a while since I've been with you, probably 6 or maybe 7 weeks, and I'm sorry about that. But I've got a few things to show you today. I have 3 WIPs that I'm working on. I have a fully finished objects that I absolutely love. I post these on my Instagram as well, and I'm very grateful for those that, you guys that join me here each time and want to hear me talk and, see what I'm working on, and follow me on my Instagram, and also support me in my little Etsy shop. I really, really appreciate it a lot. Anyway, so I've got a fully finished object that I love that I did post on my Instagram. And that was a sow that I was working with a whole bunch of other ladies with, and that we'll get to show our projects at StitchCon in June. And I have some haul that I bought. I went a bit crazy on some prairie schoolers because they were on sale at one place that I got a whole bunch of. And I also went to our secondhand shop and I got a nice little haul. So I'd like to share some of those things with you. If you also like to read, I got some, I love to read. And so I've got some great books that I picked up from my secondhand shop that I will show you, I should say. Also, I've been busy working on a lot of bags that I'm going to be taking to a retreat and in June at StitchCon. And so I've been buying a lot of fabric, which most of the time I do anyway, but I've been having fun making those each day or each week anyway. So, well, let's get right into it. So the very first thing I'd like to show you is the 3 WIPs that I've been working on. I have noticed I've kept on trying to do different ways which is the best way for me, doing different, organization of my WIPs. But I just found that I have 3 sitting right beside where I sit and stitch. And when I finish one, I just bring another one in and they get rotated like that. So that's the thing that I've found since I mostly stitch at night. And so that's the easiest thing with me. So I'll show you the 3 WIPs that I have been working on. In my last video, I showed you part of it. And these are not ironed, and I'm sorry about that. But I showed you that I had been working on this one. And I only had a little bit started on this one. And this was a prairie schooler. I love all the prairie schooler sampler patterns, and I had been working on, I was showing you, I'd been working on this summer one right here. Sorry, I got an itch. And I'd only had like the S sun and a few of the leaves done. Well, I've worked up the top, I've nearly finished the sun, and I'll just work my way down. I do want to do all of these because I love all of them, and like I said, I went a bit crazy on the prairie schooler shopping haul that I did these last couple of weeks, and I did pick up with some more samplers as well, and I'll show you them after. But this is the one that I'm working on, and I'll quickly show you how much I've done. Let me just get in here. I'm sorry, I'm not quite organized, but I took it off the hoop last night when I was working it because I figured that I was going to do a video. I'm not going to put it behind, I'll just put it behind a pattern here. I didn't have my thing. So not very ironed, but this is the summer one that I've been working on. I know it's a 32 count, and I think it's called lamb's wool. I'm not 100% sure. And I normally work on, like 25 count or 40 count 1/1. But this was a 32 that I'd already started, and I was thinking about starting it again, and I decided not to because I really liked what I had done, and so I just continued on with it. So I just got to fill in the rest of the sun, and I'm finished, and then I can continue down with the lettering and the little ones on the bottom there, which I really liked because it's got a swan and a really cute house, and that on the bottom right there that I really like on this part of it here that I'm looking forward to getting to. But this is how much I've been working on at night. So I've done quite a bit. I really enjoy it. Yeah, so that's one of my first WIPs that I've been working on. And so I'm looking forward to finishing that one and getting that framed. I'm also working on another shock, another Prairie Schooler sampler that I had started. And my FFO that I'll show you later, when that finished, I just kind of grabbed another sampler out and I started working on that. This time though, I am doing it on 25 count 1/1, and it is so tiny and I just love it. Let me just show you. I'm just going to undo these. But this is not the original card copy of it, but it's just my photocopy working copy of it. So I'm actually working on the garden sampler. Now I love all of these garden ones a lot, since I'm a big gardener and we had our farm and stuff. But I'm working on this one over here, and I've just started in this little corner. So I've done like the numbering 1, 2, 3, and this little filled in flower right here. So that's all I've done in this, and it's going to be so tiny. It's going to be gorgeous, and I will do these other ones as well because I just love them. They're beautiful. So this is the garden sampler one that I'm working on in my second whip, and let me show you. I know it's a 25 count. I think it's 25 count. It might even be a 32 count platinum. I think it's a 32 count platinum actually, from Zweigart, that I picked up a whole yard of it. Sorry, I just dropped my pattern. I picked up a whole yard of it, and I thought it was a 25 count when I picked it up, and it wasn't. It was 32. So, but I'm still doing the 1/1, and it's so tiny. I'll just show you this little tiny piece at the bottom here that I'm working on here. So, if you can see it, I'll get it as close as I can. Look how tiny that is. It's adorable. So I've done like some numbering and these looks like little grapevines coming down the side here. And I've done this, fully flower right there, which in the pattern is, let me find it, get my organized. When you look at the camera, it's different, which is this one right here where I've been working. So I'm going to come across, do the house, do the other part, and then I'll work my way down. But I really, really loved this one here. The saying on it said, "Into your garden you can walk, and with each plant and flower talk." When we had our farm, I had something like 80 roses. I used to plant everything that I could eat, but mostly, that's what I did. I used to plant everything that we could eat, but I loved roses just to have them in the house, cut the roses and have them in the house. And I used to make potpourri and stuff with it and dry them out, dry the petals out and stuff like that. But I really loved roses, and so I had like, over my lifetime so far, about 80 of them and in all different colours. And so and I used to love going out there and going, "Gee, you're so pretty," when they used to bloom. So I guess I used to talk to my flowers like this said. That's probably why I really like this one. So that's the one, my second whip that I'm working on. It's so tiny. Oh, you can see the light in the background behind it. But look how tiny it is. It's going to be beautiful. So that's on 32 count platinum by Zweigart. Okay, so I'm just going to throw that over there while I show you my number third whip. Now, as you guys know, I think I've talked about it before, I'm a very big Jane Austen fan, and aren't we, a lot of us? We love a lot of her movies and her books, and for Christmas I got a whole bunch of really beautiful collectible editions of Jane Austen and some of the books from her. And I have had this pattern for forever, and I started it, just the first word, I'll show you in a second. I started it probably 3 years ago, and I just did the one word, and for some reason I put it up and I never got back to it. And it was on 32 count, and I was doing 2/2, and I just kind of didn't like the coverage, and so I restarted it just recently. And I only can show you, I can't find the whole lot. The whole lot pattern has been come out. They brought it out piece by piece by each book that she had done, and I do have the whole lot, but I'm just working on the header and the Sense and Sensibility part at the moment. So this is the works of Jane Austen, and this is what it looks like. You've probably seen it around before. So last time I had just done works and a little bit around the corner here, and I put it up for 3 years at least, and I took it out, and I've been reading some of her life, actually, Jane Austen's life, and I have been watching some of the movies and going back over them. I watched Persuasion and Pride and Prejudice again, and you know, just at night when I'm stitching by myself. And so I got a bit inspired to pull it out. So I'm just working this area down here. I've done works. I don't think I've done, let me just see what I've done. And I did this on a 32 count, not a 32 count, a 25 count 1/1. I'm not quite sure what it is because it's actually mottled. Let me have a look. I'm not sure. I think it's 25 count. It could be 32 again. And let me show you. Just put this behind it for now. But this is all that I've done, but I've really enjoyed it. I really like this size a lot more. So I've done works and I've come around, I've done this little icon and then done the music notes right there above the piano. So I'll just work along here and then I'll work along this top part here. And I'm hoping that maybe, you know, every 2 months maybe I'll get a line or a book done, and then I can go down and I'll do the other books. Like I said, I've had this for quite a while, and I also got the Pride and Prejudice one from the Stitching Book Club that I want to finish as well after I do these as well. So that's my third WIP that I'm working on, and I really love it. I've got a big piece of fabric and it's mottled, and I can't tell what it is. I haven't written it down. You know, everyone gets these things and writes them down. Well, I just stitch. I don't necessarily keep track of what I do, and after I've finished with the pattern, most of them I will either sell on or give away, or something. I don't normally keep them. Once I've done them, I just move them on. And so this one was a PDF download. Does it say who from? I can't remember who it was from. Let me just see if I can check for you, because it's on my computer. No, if you type in the works of Jane Austen cross stitch, I'm sure it'll come up somewhere. It was on Etsy that I did it, and that I found it, and then I was following everyone. A lot of people have been stitching it back then. So one more look, there you go. And I'm really loving it. So that'll go up in my house somewhere, probably right next to our bookcase. We could be moving, which I'm kind of excited. Well, I'm excited to be moving, but I'm not excited to move out of the area because I really love the area that we live in. Sorry, I got something that come up, and I always do that, and I always cut yours out. But I really love the area that we live in, and so I really kind of don't want to move out the area, but we need a bigger place. So we're only going to be renting again, like we do here, because like I said, we're going to be moving somewhere on the East Coast. When, I'm not sure, and we want to buy a house when we're there. So but we need a bigger place. So, and one of the places that we're looking at has got a nice big, like a loft or a lobby area, not a lobby, like an area above the stairs, I guess. I don't know what you call it here. I don't even know what I call it in Australia, but it's got an area where I can put all our bookcases and books, and I'm going to put a chair and a lamp, and I can sit there and read. And maybe I'll put that Works of Jane Austen on one of the walls right there. Okay, so they're the things that I have been working on, and really enjoyed it, just taking it slowly. I've been working mostly on the Prairie School of Summer one, and I thought I would like to get that done up this summer in the house. So the only thing that I was really excited for, and I posted it on my Instagram, and we finished. So I have been working with a whole bunch of ladies, and Martha and Linda and Christina and a whole bunch of us that are working on the Noel Sampler Sow. So if you type that into your Instagram and you want to follow, do hashtag Noel Sampler Sow. It was by Brenda Gervais, and we did a sow, and we were all been working on it, and we're gonna show it, bring it to StitchCon and show each other, what we've done. And that was the one I just went monogamous on it. I just stitched on that one. That was the only thing I stitched on, and I really, really loved it. And so I finished it. Once I got through the big house, I think I showed you in my last video, once I got through the big house, it went fast. And so, I keep on getting these notifications. Let me show you the fully finished object that I got. Now, I'm lucky here where I live. We have a Joann's, a Hobby Lobby, a Michael's. We have all the, the shops, Home and all of them. And so But I've been taking all of my cross stitching finishes to Michael's, and I'm not sure if I said this to you before or not, but there's a lady that's been working for Michael's in the framing section for 21 years, and after 21 years, she's quite a professional. And with my coupons for Michael's, and with what she, you know, that we talk together and what we do, she frames them for me, and they are amazing price that I paid to have these things framed. But what makes it so much easier and cheaper for me is I get a lot of these frames from my secondhand shop, and every time I go, most of them are only anywhere from up to $5. Most of them are $2 and $3, and I only buy the really nice ones. I don't buy every frame that I see, but I buy really nice ones, and some of them I buy that are long, so if I might have, you know, one that might go this way or ones that might go this way, I'll look at them. Sometimes this one I found, it was a beautiful square one, and this no oil sampler was a square design, and so it was perfect size. It was a perfect shape, I should say, for this finish, but it was not, because I did it on 25 count, it was a little bit smaller, and so I had to have a mat. I don't normally always have mats around these, but I had a mat on this one, and I really love it anyway, because it's like an olive green, and it really matches in with the trees and everything from the no oil sampler. So I'm really, really happy with this, with the framing and everything, and I'm so grateful that it's finished. I'll tell you a little few things that I didn't fix. Is that what I say? Am I supposed to say that? Am I supposed to? It's so hard to unpick 25 count, and especially when it's a long way back, because it's so hard to unpick, because I do every cross at a time. And so I don't do, like, you know, the rows. I do every cross. And so if I've made a mistake a long way back or something else, sometimes I'll fudge it or sometimes I do unpick it. Don't get me wrong. I have unpicked a few little things on this one, but there was something that I was like, oh, I'm not even going to worry about that. I can work with that anyway. But so this is the no oil sampler sale by Brenda Gervais. I didn't get museum glass, so it's going to have a bit of a glare. I'm sorry about that. But I want to show you the frame up close. Now, if you look really close, and some of these little knots, there's like a little pink tone as well, which goes absolutely beautiful with the colorings on the sampler. And then the little olive green, I'm trying not to get the glare, but I've got windows open everywhere because it's beautiful today. This week it's going to be like in the 70s, and so I've got windows and everything open everywhere, so the glares are pretty shocking. But I did this little olive green mat, and it was because it was only really tiny. I think it worked really, really well, and she did a wonderful job in framing it. So this is the no oil sampler sale that I had finished. Now let me tell you that just the 3 things, was it 3? Yeah, the 3 things I messed up. You can probably see one of them. Okay, the colorings of this sampler, some of them are so close. Like, you know, I use just the DMC colorings, and some of them are so close in tone, I should say. Excuse me. These braces, I get so dehydrated, and so I'm starting to get a little bit lispy again. Excuse me, I need a drink. Just give me a second. Anyway, back to it. So some of the colors, the tones are really, really close. So I had done this deer right here. But as you notice, if you come over to this deer, he's just a little bit darker. He's got a suntan. And so he's just a little bit darker than the other one. I had picked up the wrong color, but by the time I really noticed it after I had did his antlers and stuff, I was like, oh, I am not taking this out. He can just be a different little color. And I think it looks nice. It kind of adds a little bit of difference to it. So that was one of my first mistakes. One of my other mistakes, I had started up the top and I had did the whole border. Well, when I was coming down, I had started up here, come across the top here, and then I came down here and I came across here. And when I started coming down here to this corner, I was 1 row off. This is not supposed to join up there like that. It's supposed to be 1 down. I am not going to unpick it. I could even tell where I would probably made the mistake. So that is supposed to be one down. And so what I did is I thought, oh, I'm going to have to move everything up 1. And I did that, so it worked. And then when I got over here, I realized because of the mistake I did here on the lady, where is it? On her shirt in the middle, the breasting part in the middle, it was supposed to only be one line, and I did two. The same with the guy. And so I flubbed it, and all it did was it made this little dog closer to the man. So I'm like, no, not gonna change it. That is absolutely fine. Put my initials in the corner, had it framed, and I love it. I absolutely love this piece. It is beautiful. I'm looking forward to seeing everyone else's at StitchCon in June. So that's my fully finished piece. Do we really supposed to tell all of our little mistakes? I don't care. I still love it. Anyway, so that was my fully finished object. So the next things I'll show you is just a few of the things that I have bought. And one of them I really love, and I'm really looking forward to starting that. But I'm not going to start it just yet. I'm going to finish some of the ones that I've done and some of the great books that I purchased. First, I just wanted to show you, these are some of the fabrics. Look at some of these great fabrics, all these patriotic ones that I have purchased for new bags. Some really cute scissor sewing ones. And then these ones down here are just some new ones that I've done. So I've just got a whole bunch of fabrics that I purchased that I love doing, love working with anyway. And so these are the other things that I purchased. So I'll show you what I did purchase first. Some of these I purchased online, and I can't remember where. And then some was 123 Stitch. But 123 Stitch had a sale on fabric and stuff. So because I do 25 count and 40 count, and I do 1/1, I don't need big, huge pieces unless, I cut them up. So I just get sometimes it's, 14 by 18 or something like that. So I only buy the smaller pieces, and they had them out for like $6 and stuff like that. So I went a bit crazy on 25 and 40 count. But also they had sales on my favorite needles. My favorite needles are the Peacemaker needles. I love them because the eyes are a little bit bigger. And so, you never fray any of your threads when you use the Peacemaker needles. I got 24, 26, and 28 count. So I just got a packet of each of those while they were on sale. And then these are the fabrics that I picked up. And like I said, I just kept the name of it on it this time, and I put them in a little bag so I can know what they are. They're all from Zweigart, I think. And I got another Zweigart 25 count country vintage mocha. That's everyone's most popular fabric, I think. Always sells out. I got two pieces at different times because they had different sales of the Zweigart. I got an eighth of 40 count mallow linen, 13 by 18 size. So I got two of those, which I really, really like. I got a Zweigart eighth of a 25 count Stormy Clouds Lugana, which has got some overdyed mottling on it. I have no idea what I'm going to do with that, but that's okay. I might find because it looks good, it would probably be great for a Halloween one. I don't do a lot of Halloween, but it might even look nice with a garden one too. So one of those gardening ones might go on there. I also got, this was a Witch Alt 8th Country Vintage Smoky White Lugana, which was really nice. It's kind of like that one, but this one's got a brown overdyed tone to it. So I'm really happy with that one. Then I went back to Zweigart and I got a Zweigart 8 36 count flax Edinburgh. I think I've got a perfect patriotic for that one. And then I did get a Zweigart 8th 25 count Stormy Night Lugana. Don't know what I'm going to do on that one yet. Might have to be my... Okay, so the other things that I've been stitching, the other thing that I had been stitching, and I just got to make it into it's fully finished, was part 2 of my my design or my series called Gone to a Better Place, my Halloween series. It's funny because I don't normally stitch Halloween, many other Halloween designs, but I stitch them for my little business. So part 1 is already out, as you know, and it was a little cushion, and that's in my Etsy shop. Part 2 is coming out hopefully next month in April, and I'm hoping I can get it done, but I've finished stitching it. That's another thing that I had finished stitching, and it's so adorable. Can you say hello? Can you say hello? Every video he has to make a showing, doesn't he? Say hello. You're not going to come up? No, no, no. Get down, you rat bag. Anyway, he loves jumping up behind me when I sit in this chair. So, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. So I finished the part 2, which is really, really cute. It's called Land of Trouble. And I got to make it into a drum. So because I've been doing everything else, it's going to take me a little bit of time to do the drum, so I'm hoping to get it out next month. So if you bought part 1, look for part 2, it's coming. So sometimes I use these greys and stuff, the smoky ones, in my own designs that I put in my Etsy shop. And the last one that I bought was Wygar 8th 40, let me start again, 40 count platinum, Newcastle. And this is probably the one that I'm going to use on one of my favourite patterns that I bought as well, that I'll show you now. So these are all the patterns that I bought. I went a bit crazy on Prairie Schooler. They had a Prairie Schooler sale. I have been wanting, you know, my favourite holiday of the year is Christmas. And so I love to stitch Christmas stuff, as you can tell from the Noel sampler that I've already finished it. And so I bought a whole bunch of these. Now, they were the limited edition Santa ones, and the only one I realised, I didn't realise that I missed one. So I've got to go back and get number 9. But it was the 2005 limited edition Here Comes Santa Claus from Prairie Schooler. So I picked up that one. I picked up 2006 Dear Santa limited edition. Picked up all of them, I should say. 2007 Let It Snow. And when I do these, you know, you can look at them, they're quite stark, and I think that's what Prairie Schooler is known for, but I'm going to mellow them down a little bit when I do them for me. 2008 By the Chimney, and I love all of these. I especially love this one, Santa's House 2010, so I did miss 9, and I will go back and get that. So 2010, Santa's House. So they're the ones, oh, and I did get 11, Coming to Town. There you go. So they're all the Prairie Schooler Santa ones that I picked up. I just realised I had this in my hand. I want to take the price off of this, because I did a little deal with one of the girls in our one of the ladies in our stitching group, Emily, and Emily wanted some zipper pulls, and I just told her to buy me a patriotic pattern, and I never had this one, and she picked it up, and I love it. It's called From Plum Street's Samplers, Bless Our Land. So that's what I sometimes do. There you go. So that will go into my patriotic, you know, swap out. So these are the other ones that I did buy. Another 5 Prairie Schoolers, which is pretty sad. I loved when I saw this, and if we go to the East Coast, we're looking at buying a little bit of secluded property when we do. So I'm sure I'll probably see some of these animals out there, but I love the Woodland Santa one. This was actually the one that got me on there checking out all the all the prices and all the Prairie Schooler ones. And then I went a bit crazy because I saw this and I thought, I want this one. And then I went and checked out all the others. Bit deadly. Like I keep on saying, I'm not buying any more until I go away to StitchCon. Yeah. I don't know who I'm trying to fool there, but that's okay. I also bought Stars and Stripes. I hadn't had this one. And I'm going to do these in my Weeks Dye Works 2 favourite colours, Cayenne and Fathom. So they won't be, this is a little bit more stark, this colour, but mine will be a little bit more muted. So I'm going to do those. And I did get Good Saint Nick. I really liked this one. I thought it was adorable. I like both of them. Told you I went a bit crazy on Prairie School. How many is that now? 12? Something like that. and the other one I bought. So I do have the summer, the autumn, the winter, and now I've got the spring. Oh, the garden sampler. Now I didn't have the spring sampler. I just love this one. This will probably be my first one with the little rabbit and the umbrella. So I did pick up the Prairie Schooler spring, and the last Prairie Schooler I did pick up was the band sampler, and this is very mellow colors, and I kind of really like it actually. So that's the last, I think that is the last of all the samplers that I need to buy. So now I just got to stitch them all. That's funny. So, and I did pick up, I do have the 2 Christmas ones. There's a Christmas sampler and the Christmas sampler too, and I have done both. I have got both of those as well. Well, this is the one. Where's that piece of fabric that I was going to show you? Let me see if I can find it. Okay, so I'm not sure. I haven't really checked if it's going to fit on this size, but I think it will because it's a 40 count, and I'm just going to do 1/1. But this popped up, I can't remember where. I think it might have, I'm not even sure if it was 1, 2, 3 Stitch or not, but it was a Rosewood Manor one, and I don't have any Rosewood Manor, can you believe? And I saw this, and I just thought it was so elegant and beautiful that I'm going to probably do it on this color here, and I'm going to do it very muted like they've got here, but it's the Silent Sampler if you've seen it, and I just love this sampler. Simple, with the alphabet and the flowers on the basket. That's me. Absolutely love this Rosewood Manor Silent Sampler. So I'm hoping to put it on here. I have, excuse me, I'm not sure what it calls for inside. I haven't even really looked properly. I think it's DMC, so they have got it on some Zweigart linen anyway. So I will go in and I'll probably do it on this one. This one's got more of a little bit of a pinky kind of tinge to it. So I don't know, I might have to have a look around. The platinum might even do it, to be totally honest. Where's my platinum? Or even the Country Mocha. The Country Mocha even does it, really, look. Doesn't it? But it's so pretty. So I'm looking really forward to getting this one done. I like to have this in my bedroom. So they are all my haul, my stitchy haul, I think. Is that all my stitchy haul? Yes, that's all my stitchy haul. So if you are not interested in the rest of it, you can turn off now, and I'm grateful that you have been following me this morning. But if you're into some books and some what I've found at my secondhand shop, and some of the things that I do find at my secondhand shop are just amazing, and I get them so cheap. And I try not to buy too much because we don't have the space, but sometimes I just can't leave them there. And a couple of years ago, I started collecting, not collecting, I didn't really collect them, but I love them, is the Jim Shore pieces, the Santa pieces especially. And 2 years ago, was it last year? No, yeah, 2 years, Christmas, not Christmas just gone, but the Christmas before, I found a huge Santa in a sleigh of Jim Shore at my secondhand shop for $25. And I looked it up and it was like $175 somewhere else. And I couldn't believe it. I was so excited. So I really don't buy Jim Shore full price. I kind of look at wait and look at my secondhand shops, and every now and then one pops up, and I'm lucky to find it. My daughter also loves them, but she's collected some of his Disney ones, and she's got a Halloween one, she's got an Eeyore one, and she's found them, most of them, all at the secondhand shop as well. Well, I found 2 within this last time since I've... Hey, what are you doing? Come on. Get down, rabbit. Anyway, so I found 2 in the last couple of times. I've found 2 of them since I've last spoken with you, and I just love them. Now, I couldn't believe how lucky I was, because normally Jim Shore is in the collectible sections of our secondhand shop, and one of them was, but this other one just happened to be in all the odds and ends little knick-knack shelf, and I got it for $3, and I could not believe how lucky I was. I just think it's really cute because it's a full pumpkin. I don't know if you guys have seen this. It's Count Your Blessings, and I got this little thing for $3, and I was so excited. because I just love the little pumpkin of it. It's got count your blessings, and then you've just go around, and I just love the back part too, with the turkey and the house and the barn. Someone messed up. I think it was supposed to go into the collectible section, but I scored I scored it for $3. So I was really happy with that. That's one of my collectible items that I picked up. Well, I'll just put it back here actually. And the other one I just picked up recently, he was a bit more, a lot cheaper than what it is if I was buying it brand new or online. It was still in the packaging, still got everything, and it was Heartland, the Heartwood Creek section, and I think it's called Home for the Holidays or Home Holidays or something like that. But I found one of the Santas, and I normally just like look for the Santa ones because I just love Christmas and I love Santas, and I love stitching Santas, and as you can tell by all the Prairie Schooler. But I found this little guy, and it made it even more special because he had the cow. Look at the cow in his head. Now this was less than half price of what I would buy it brand new. Like I said, it was all still in the box, still the tag. And so I was like, he's coming home with me. I normally try and buy a Santa every year for my collection. Last year I really didn't buy one. But this year, in the middle of the year, I found him. I'll keep looking. I might find some more. But I just thought he was adorable with that little cow. Look. So that's my two little Jim Shaw collections. I'll keep you up to date if I find any more on my little hunts around. But I really like the Santa ones of Jim Shaw especially. I have put a few in my Amazon wish list, but I don't necessarily want my family to buy them for Christmas and everything at full prices if they don't have to. But I really, really love that one. Anyway, so the books that I'm going to show you now that I picked up at my secondhand shop. I always pick up books. An avid reader and love picking up the ones that I can. And as you know, I am a really big American history buff because of my husband and him being and his family being military. I'm very big patriotic, and I like to stitch patriotic, and I like to read about it, about the history of the country, all different aspects of it. And so and especially about people that might have helped start up a state or something like that, or the history of some of the presidents, all different types of American history that I love. And so I have a few here. Some are just fiction, and then I've found this one as well. This one was called Vintage Notions, and it was just, I couldn't leave it there. These are all so cheap. Honestly, none of these were over $3. And so this one's Vintage Notions, an inspiration guide to needlework, cooking, sewing, fashion, and fun. And it was just a gorgeous book. Look, and I just love sitting down and looking at them, and I'll just show you what's inside. Look. So there's a whole, there might be a cooking section, making pajamas. I just love this book. It had to come home with me. So that was one of the first books I picked up. These are some of the ones that I just got for like 75 cents, $1, $2. But this one was a really old one, and it was about a woman who came over on one of the ships and befriended the Indians, and she got at Massachusetts Bay, and she got bullied and everything from it. But it's called Anya Seton, the Winthrop Woman. And some of the colonists were, especially the men, were not very nice to the Indians or the women of the colonies. So she stood up for what she believed in. So I'm looking forward to reading that one. This one is just a classic. It's called The Pioneers. It was Jane Fenimore Cooper, and it was their struggle. Let me read this one. Drummer. It was just struggling to do on the frontier land. So I got that one. Who doesn't love Montgomery? So I've got all of Anne Green Gables and a whole bunch of her other ones, but this one I never had, called The Golden Road. I love Willicatha. And I actually think I bought this one brand new, but it was on sale. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. I got this one at the second-hand shop as well for a couple of dollars. But I have never read My Antonia, and that's one of her most popular books. And so she's got like the O Pioneers and Death on the County or something like that. Death Comes to the Archbishop or something like that. I can't remember. But I started reading this one. I really liked this one, so I picked up this one. I also picked up this one, which was a Penguin classic called Hope Leslie, Early Times in the Massachusetts in 1827. And it talks about James Fenimore Cooper, the one that I just showed you there. So I picked up that one. I have never had a copy of this one, would you believe, which is Nathaniel Hawthorne's Scarlet Letter. So I got that one. Now, I didn't even know what this one was about until I picked it up and I started reading it, and she won a Pulitzer Prize for this, and it was all marked, like some of it was marked up, so someone must have had it for a class or something. But I'm looking forward to reading this one. This one's Annie Dillard, Pilgrim at Tinder, what is it called again? Pilgrim at Tinker Creek. Pilgrim at Tinker Creek. That's a mouthful when you try and say it with braces. Anyway, so she's written like 20 books or something, and she has won quite a few Pulitzer Prizes. So I'm looking at getting her autobiography as well and reading about her. And so these other two are not true stories, but I just liked one of them's not in very good condition, but I just liked the story behind it, and I want to see it because I know it's a TV series. One of them is a TV series, is Penamaric by Susan Howich. So that one's a bit roughed up, but then there's a second one too, Cashmere. So I got those. Let me just see what it says in here 1 minute. Yeah, so it's kind of in Victoria, England. So I got those two, and I might even look at the TV series of that one. Now these last four, I'm trying to find places to put them until I can store them away. These last four are some of my favourite ones that I picked up in the last couple of weeks actually. And I love, I don't know if you guys have watched it, sorry I had to put it down. If you guys have watched Lark Rise to Candleford, I really like that TV series. And I didn't know, because I've got just a paperback version of Lark Rise to Candleford, but I didn't know that they had an illustrated version. Now, it's supposed to come with a cover. I'll show you what the other covers look like, what one cover looks like. But this one didn't have a cover, and the other one was really messed up, so I just took the cover off because I just thought it was just as nice without the cover, to be honest. It's embossed. And it's got Lark Rise to Candleford, and it's an illustrated version of it. So I've just been reading it again actually, and let me just show you inside. I don't know if you can see, wait a minute. It's got these beautiful pictures and press looks like there's pressed flowers and that on the story. It's just beautiful. So I've been reading these. These are some of my three. I actually bought that one. So Flora Thompson wrote Lark Rise to Candleford, and I found this one, and this is kind of the illustrated Still Glides the Stream, which is like her life. And this is what the covers are supposed to look like, see? And this one was in really good condition when I found it, but the others didn't, they weren't very good condition, so I just took the covers off. But I'm looking forward to like getting into these. This one's exactly the same, see? Beautiful pictures. And I just love it. So I'm looking forward to seeing a bit about her life. Lark Rise to Candleford was a little bit about her life as growing up anyway. And then this one, it was by Laura Lee, and she wrote Cider with Rosie. So this cover was really bad as well, so I just kind of took it off because I just thought it looked really cute. But it's in the same format as Lark Rise to Candleford. So that was the 3 that I picked up. I picked up a book yesterday, my last one that I'll show you, and then I'm finished for the day, and I'll let you go, and then I can go out to lunch with my daughter. But I picked up one yesterday that I have listened in audio, I have read, I have even listened to audio again when I've been working on my bags. The first time I listened to it was when we lived in Australia and I was living on my farm, and our farm was very simple, like it was self-sufficient, very self-sufficient. We were run by solar, electricity, you know, for our electricity we had solar, so we never had electricity bill. It was run by water, so we never had a water bill. It was run by rainwater tank, sorry. And so we never had a water bill. So, and we lived a very simple life, and I grew everything that we ate, and we lived off the land. We had horses, and we always had a crop that would feed the horses. So we're very self-sufficient. And I really miss that, not living in an apartment. So that's what we plan to do when we move to the East Coast, is find a little bit of land that we can kind of continue doing that again. It's in my blood, very big in my blood, and I miss it a lot sometimes. And I've grown a few things out on my little patio, but nothing to where I was. But I loved living that very simple life, living off the land and stuff like that. And when I found this guy, and I'd never read his books, and when I found him back then when we lived on our farm, it really emphasized how I loved to live my life. And just recently I've been listening to it in the car when I'm driving around again, and I just still love it. It's weird. I know some people love this book, and some people don't like this book, so it just depends. And I've always been listening to it when I've been making my bags. And then yesterday my daughter wanted to go to Walden. I used to work for Walden Books, isn't that funny? I used to work for B. Dalton Books here in America. She wanted to go to Barnes & Noble to look up some stuff. And I found this, and it was on the cheaper table. And I was like, and my other books of this, I've got 2 other copies, and they're just like paper versions of it. And I was like, I got to just get this hardcover copy of this version, because I just loved the illustrated version of it. But I love the simplicity and the life of that Henry David Thoreau lived when he lived on Walden Pond. And so this is the book that I got, the illustrated version of Walden by Henry David Thoreau. And our life is flitted away by detail. And I just think, with how the world is, and, social media, and, how much emphasis we put on looking at our phone and, our computers and all that stuff, that sometimes we miss the simple, beautiful things that come into our life that we, appreciate. And I live a very simple life like that, and I appreciate a lot of simple things. And it says, our life is frittered away by detail. Simplicity, simplicity, simplicity. And because I've already read it and watched it, listened to it many times, I've even watched things on YouTube about it, his life, and some of the famous people that he was in contact with. But I loved the simplicity of his life on Walden Pond, and the people that he met back in 1875. Was it 1875? 1845, sorry. And I'll just read it. It says, built a small cabin on the shores of Walden Pond in 1845. The next 2 years he lived there as simply as possible, learning to eliminate the unnecessary material and spiritual details that intruded upon human happiness. And he wasn't a real spiritual guy, but he appreciated what Mother Nature and everything had produced and enjoyed. So but I really, really liked this classic book. I loved just the inside of it. Have a look at this book. And I just had to get it because I didn't have a really nice illustrated version of it. So that was the last book that I picked up. Now, like I said, some people love his thoughts and way of life, and other people don't. It just depends on what you do. Because I've lived that simple life before, I really appreciate what he has to say. And it's some of the proses and stuff that he puts in there are really kind of in depth to make you think about how the world is today, especially. Anyway, that was the last book I bought, and I bought that last night. Anyway, I am grateful that you have joined me this, I don't know how many minutes, I don't know, 40 minutes maybe. Okay guys, sorry, something happened and I had to, join these two together. So I hope that you have a wonderful week, and that you'll think of those around us that are struggling and having a hard time, but that you'll be safe, and I will be able to meet with you again soon. Bye.